Oh, hey everybody. Holy Joe Rock and Roll. Back in the hotel with some after March thoughts on the 11/11/2018 Polish Independence March, the historic 100-year anniversary of Poland's independence. So if you've been following me yesterday to today and the march, you can see sort of a theme, a theme through all these videos, and that is there's no fate but what we make, to quote from the Terminator series, right? Nationalism, populism, traditionalism versus globalism. That's really what we're talking about here. And when the people unite, when the people are united in their best, when the people are united in their best national interests, as we see in Poland, there's strength in that. And the government has to deal with that, right? Has to respond to the wishes of the people. The previous Polish government, just for an example, was going to initially allow about 10,000 so-called Syrian refugees into the country. Before that policy could be really implemented, the new government came into power, PiS, or the party, Law and Justice Party. Now, without going into the politics of it, the people responded, right? The people basically made their voices heard and they voted in a center-right government, and they were opposed to this migrant policy. And as a result, Poland, along with other countries like Hungary, Czech Republic, Slovakia, their people rose up and said, we don't want this. And the governments had to deal with it. Now, I don't think anybody in Germany voted to let Angela Merkel allow in over 1 million of these refugees. And look what the damage that it has done to Germany, to France, and other countries, right? Also, take a look at unfortunately, the midterms were kind of bittersweet in the United States. But even in the United States, with the election of Trump, the people basically realized that the two parties, the Rhino Republicans and the Democrats, were two sides, two wings of the same bird. A oligarchy bird, a globalist bird, a bird that was not flying, for all intents and purposes, to continue with the metaphor, for the people. They were basically parties of special interests, and these special interests did not align with the people. That's why Trump was elected. Now, in the midterms, with so much negative press against President Trump, it is amazing that the results were as good, I guess you could say, as they were. They certainly weren't as bad as what happened to Obama after his first 2 years. They certainly were not as bad as what happened to Bill Clinton after his first 2 years, or even George W. Bush. So this is definitely was not a blue wave. What I'm trying to say is that many people came to vote for Trump that had never voted before, right, in 2016, because there was never a candidate that they trusted or they felt compelled to vote for. And there's still some people out there who refuse to vote because they don't want to, somehow, what do they say? I don't want to be complicit, or I don't want to justify the system. This is idiotic. This is nonsense. Your vote counts in a democracy. Your vote counts, okay? Especially when there's so much illegal voting, and what we see happening in Florida, ballots being disappearing. Suddenly ballots showing up, reappearing, or appearing out of nowhere. So your vote is important, right? That's why these are participatory democracies. Now, in the midterms, the numbers are showing that this was one of the highest turnouts. Something with like 110 million people came out to vote. So pretty much half the population. This is a near record number. Certainly in recent elections, in recent years, certainly for midterms. This is a record turnout. Okay. And the same thing goes for all countries, right? For all countries. Now, this is not a video to convince people to move to the center right or move to a nationalist populist position, but the truth is that is what's happening, because for the last, well, since the fall of the Berlin Wall, since collapse of communism, there has been a very rapid move to the left. I mean, look at the Democrat Party and think about what they're espousing today. Compare that to JFK, John F. Kennedy, at the height of possibly Democrat power. It's night and day, right? JFK, listen to any of his speeches. Just look on Google, on YouTube. After this video, look for like a JFK speech on taxes. JFK today probably would be to the right of Donald Trump, right? So the Democrat Party has moved so far to the left because people have checked out, right? People have been demoralized and desensitized and felt helpless, and they didn't vote, right? And they didn't vote for 20, 30 years. And it allowed this corruption and this nonsense to continue. And Trump, people say he's whatever you want to call him, he's just trying to bring things back to the center. I mean, think about it. I mean, since when did control over borders, how is that ever a controversial issue? 20 years ago, Chuck Schumer gave a speech. Bill Clinton gave speeches about illegal immigrants, even harder to the right than Donald Trump. Bill Clinton, right? Even Feinstein, Senator Feinstein from California gave speeches 20 years ago. Really just, you would have to say they were pro-American, right? You would have to say they were pro-America first. They were America first type policies. And now they've just gone so far to the left. I don't understand it. I never could understand it. And people who rationalize this altruism, it's a combination of the bigotry of low expectations, like, oh, we have to help these people. What? Why do we have to help these people? Why can't they help themselves? Right? If they're so smart, if they're just as smart as us, why can't they help themselves? Right? And we give these countries millions of dollars. Now, the governments are corrupt. We know that. But where's the oversight? Right? Where's the oversight on these governments? If you're giving like Guatemala, $100 million for economic improvements, $100 million? I mean, that's like giving every citizen of Guatemala $10,000 each, right? That would certainly raise them out of poverty overnight. Where's the money going? So anyhow, all I'm trying to say is that this was a beautiful march. It was a peaceful march. It was family friendly for the most part. It was incredibly inspirational. There's obviously Polish chants that don't necessarily translate into U.S. I mean, God, honor, country. We would just say USA, 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 right? Which kind of means the same thing. It really means the same thing. President Trump, when he was running, he would always say, God bless America. For all of his speeches, right? He usually would end with God bless America, or may God continue to bless America, this kind of stuff. So we would say God bless America, or you just chant USA. Those are the kind of things that we would do. Here they were saying, God, honor, country. Now we might say America first, America first. But usually the chant is just USA, USA, USA. And that's not hating on anybody else, right? It's just saying that we're Americans first. And it doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter where you came from. If you're an American legally, you're part of America, right? And I feel the same way here about in Poland. Most people, I met tons of people here, talked to tons of people, and the Polish people have the same kind of, I would say, outlook for the majority of Polish people, even those that were at this march. They're like, look, if you come to Poland, you respect our laws, and you want to be part of Poland, you're welcome. But if you come to Poland and you want to take advantage of Poland, or if you want to try to impose some foreign, Sharia law, for instance, or some foreign shit. It's just not going to fly. And the Polish people are proud enough to just say that. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? There's nothing wrong with saying we love our country, we love our people, and we want it to stay this way. So, jestem już Polakiem. That's right, baby. Jestem już Polakiem. That means I'm already Polish, man. So if you come and you become Polish, you're Polish. And that's how these people greeted me. Very friendly, very open, very warm. Dude gave me a cigarette, gave me a lighter. Well, I was like, I didn't need that, but it was really cool. And then he wouldn't take. I had sandwiches. He didn't want a sandwich. I had a drink. He didn't want a drink. It was incredible, man. Shichin, shichin, shichin. That's a hard word to say, man. It sounds Chinese to me. I know it's not Chinese, but it sounds like, ni hao ma shichin, shichin, Shechin, right? Somebody says from Shechin says hi. Hey. So it was an incredible march. Man, over 200,000 people. This is a huge outpouring of just the passion, the nationalism, the patriotism, and not in a negative way, in a very positive way. It's not hating on anybody else. It's simply reasserting or asserting Poland is Polish, and it should stay that way, right? It should stay that way, and they're proud of their country, and they wanted to, make Poland great again. I guess you keep Poland great. This is amazing, amazing technology. I'm here in Warsaw. I got people from all over the world dropping me messages. I got a message from Texas, from Szczecin, from all over. This is just amazing technology. I wish y'all could have been here. Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, why does the media try to paint Poland as Nazis or as fascists? And we know who the people are. Who are the people that control the media? Who are the people who are always going to be a minority? And why do they constantly try to put down nationalist movements? There was a Euro News. I was watching Euro News on the TV here in the hotel. And there was an organization, I don't know, I forget the name of the organization, but obviously it was a Jewish woman who said, we are an organization opposed to nationalism. Why? Why are they opposed to that? This is not national socialism. Everybody's opposed to that. We're opposed to that. Polish people are opposed to that. They lived through socialism in the form of communism, right? They lived through that. And in fact, I mean, look, many people have brought up to my attention that if you really think about it, did Poland really get rid of communism in terms of the people that are in power? No, the government, the first president of the democracy, the new democracy of Poland, was the former communist general, right? Do you guys know that? And this is why there was a crisis with wanting to get rid of these Polish judges, because when Poland became non-communist, all these communist-era judges remained in their position, right? And the present government says, well, these guys have to retire. They're communist, and they just you can't change the leopard stripes. I mean, if you just change communist to Nazi, these were Nazi judges from the Nazi era, and then suddenly the country becomes democracy, and they're going to stay. They stick around. Well, the majority of them are still here. I mean, they're probably since 91. They're probably in their late 50s, 60s. They need to retire, and that's what. That's the explanation. That's the reality. And people are trying to say that it's a violation of the Constitution, the Polish Constitution. No, it's not. People know that in Germany, when Eastern Germany became reunited with West Germany, East Germany became reunited with West Germany, 80% of the judges were fired. 80% of the East German, former communist judges were fired. That did not happen in Poland. Right, so you still have that legacy of these people. Now, you could say it's politics, but whatever. It is what it is. And and the people that are in power now want to make a change. They want to bring in new people who are not communist. So that's what's up. But yeah, I had a conversation with one of the guys at the march, and Polish people are red pilled for the most part. The people at that march are red pilled. They know who's behind the name calling and the trying to paint Poland as fascist. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, Poland was the first victim of the fascists, right, and the communists. Yeah, I mean, Poland were the people who they didn't create a collaborative government. There was no Polish government. The Nazis took over. They split. People don't realize this. They split up Poland, right? The western half became part of Germany. Actually, was part of Germany. The center part was what they called it, the GM. I think governing mandate, whatever, something like that. I forget what they called it. And the eastern part was swallowed up by the Soviet Union. There was no Polish government. There was no collaborative government, not like the French with the Vichy government. And the Poles continued to fight even after the war ended. They were fighting. So, yeah, it's just insane to call Poles fascists when they're the ones who bore the brunt of fascism and communism, for the last 70 years. So this is truly a celebration. This was truly a celebration of Poland's independence, and I'm really glad that I was a part of it. Yep. Yeah. 100 years of independence. Poland was off the map for 123 years after the second partition. I believe it was the second partition, right? 123 years. And in 1918, they got their independence back. I'm from the U.S. VB, ale jestem już Polakiem. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. This is an amazing country, man. This is an amazing country. It's given me a lot of opportunities here to be here. Whatever. There's good and there's bad, right? Obviously, you're not going to make as much money in Poland typically than I might make in the U.S., but that's not the point. That's not why I'm here. I'm not here for the money. I'm here for the lifestyle. I'm here for the non-GMO foods. I'm here for the culture. I came to Poland to be with Polish people, to be in Poland. I didn't come here to, be in some third world country, right? So I'm happy that things are as they are, and how people are proud to be who they are, Polish people. So it's really awesome. It was really a great march. Man, just 200,000 people, completely peaceful. Families were there. All young kids, old people, middle-aged people, everybody. One guy I was talking to, he told me he was 37. He'd spent 6 years in the UK. He came back to Poland 4 years ago and said, it was so cool. He's like, I decided I'm not going to go back. I was born here. I'm going to die here. He would like to travel, see some places, but he's not planning to go back, work in any other countries, right? So that seems to be the sentiment from a lot of people. So one comment is that Poland has to stand up to Russia now. I have kind of mixed feelings about the whole Russian thing. I don't really feel that Russia is a real threat to Poland. Now, because Poland is not really antagonizing the Russian bear, right? What happened in Ukraine, let's just think about what happened in Ukraine. The Orange Revolution happened in Ukraine. They brought in supposedly pro-Western government, and that Western government was negotiating with the EU to be more integrated into the EU. And then there was even talks about Ukraine joining NATO. This is what pissed off Russia, because Russia did not want NATO armies potentially on its border. And you have to appreciate that standpoint. Like, we wouldn't want Chinese armies in Mexico, right? We would not tolerate that as Americans. So we just have to just be honest and just recognize that. Just like we did not accept Russian or Soviet Union nuclear missiles in Cuba. Now, there's so I don't think it's in Russia's best interest to invade Poland. Like, what would be the what they wouldn't gain anything. They would then suffer, right? On the other hand, yeah. So then, Hillary Clinton's State Department did this whole bullshit with Ukraine, right? And basically did what we can only call a coup d'état in Ukraine, and this threatened Russia's naval base in Crimea, and they had to take action. So I mean, it's just weird. It's like, what do you think is going to happen? What did they think was going to happen, right? So it's like what these globalists had did under Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. They caused this. They created this. You can't blame this on Russia. Russia was just reacting. I'm not defending them, but they had to react. Like, if imagine if you had a naval base in, I don't know, the Florida Keys, and I don't know, freaking Chinese started building an island off the coast. I mean, you'd take action, right? You would take action because it's threatening your vital interests. So, and look, to the point, Ukraine didn't fight them. Ukraine didn't lift a finger. They had a Ukrainian base, and they didn't do anything. Yeah, that's a good point, Space Dude 3000. That's a good point. Yeah. Anyways, let's finish that thought. Ukraine didn't do anything very much. Now you could say maybe they didn't have the weapons, the manpower, but they certainly could have done something about the little green men that showed up in Crimea, right? All those guys in the naval base or in the army base on Crimea stayed locked up, stayed in the barracks. They didn't confront the Russians. And part of it is because most of them were Russian, right? I mean, go to Kiev, talk to people there, and ask them, are you Ukrainian? And I swear to God, 90% of the people I talked to said, and I quote, "I'm Russian, but I'm Ukrainian." And it's like, what the hell are you? Are you Russian or are you Ukrainian? So go figure that out. Now, if you go to places like Lviv in the West, those people will say that they are Ukrainian. There's no second thought about it. I'm Ukrainian. End of story. So, are these just different people in the different locations? And maybe it is. That's why they're saying these are Russian speakers. These are ethnic Russian people in the east of Ukraine. And a lot of them were put there by Stalin to change the demographics of Ukraine. Let's just be honest. This is what happened. And that's what we're talking about now in Europe and the United States. Demographics is destiny. If you change the demographics, you're going to change the character of the country. You're going to change the content of the country. And if the people that you're putting in there are not comparable, they're going to change. Your country's going to change. So I'm certainly not going to send my sons to fight Russians in Crimea to give it back to Ukraine. It just makes no sense, right? It just makes no sense. All right, that's a good point. Space Dude is saying that Russia had no problem attacking Poland in 1939. And that's true, but they had, they both were trying to, look, the Soviet Union in 1939 remember, it tried to invade Russia, it tried to invade Poland in 1920, right? And the Poles defeated the Russians, saving Europe a third time, right, from a major invasion in 1920. And the Russians wanted revenge because they got their asses kicked in the Miracle of the Vistula. And they did the same thing, man. Yeah, the other comment was, yeah, Americans are not making necessarily as much money as they used to. This is true because of all the H-1B visas and because of all the illegal immigrants. Depressing wages is starting to slowly change as illegal and legal immigration is slowing down. And this Trump administration is trying to enforce the laws and deport these people. So maybe that will start to change. But on the other side, in Poland, wages are going up, okay? Especially in the high-skilled areas. I mean, let's just be honest. There's a lot of American companies here, and French companies, and British companies here in Poland. And why are they here? They're looking for people who are bilingual or trilingual, and let's just be honest. They've outsourced these jobs. They've outsourced these jobs, and people are being paid less in Poland than they would be paid in UK or the United States. But to be fair, because of the difference in currencies and everything like that, and PPP, purchasing power parity, you can earn less money here converted into US dollars and still have a very high quality life, okay? It's just like it is. I mean, like, we make fun of people in China making $2 a day. Those people are very poor, but imagine if you made $5 a day. You'd be probably middle class in some of these areas, right? Maybe not in Shanghai or, the capital, Beijing, but certainly in one of the third tier or fourth tier cities, you probably would be middle class, if assuming you had a place to live, right? So it's you just can't compare on the how much money are you making in dollars. It doesn't make sense. That's why they do the PPP, purchasing power parity. So that's something to consider. What else were we talking about? Yeah, Russia is trying to reassert itself as one of the comments by building a pipeline directly to Germany. I think it's the Nord Stream pipeline. This is one thing that Trump was talking about, right? He's saying, look, you're going to give Russia $400 billion over the next 10 years, right? $40 billion worth of gas contracts to build this pipeline. You're going to be dependent upon Russian natural gas, and yet you want the United States to defend you, protect you, Germany, from Russia. And you're not even paying 2% of GDP towards defense, right? That's what Trump's talking about. That makes absolutely no sense, right? That Germany is not paying 2%. Yet they also said that they were going to spend. They predicted, or they estimated they would be spending $400 billion. Sorry, 400 billion euros over the next 10 years to house these effing refugees. 70% of them are illiterate in their own language. And I don't even know how many of them are even working. Out of a million, a few thousand maybe have jobs. It's insane. It just makes no sense. And Trump is saying that the United States is no longer going to subsidize this. So that's what's up, people. That's my thoughts. And I really appreciate everybody who've been following me on these live streams. Oh, by the way, I took some video of many parts of the march, and I could not get a signal. There was no phone signal, and I believe that was done intentionally. Excuse me. I think they turned off phone signals during the march to prevent, as a security precaution. Let's put it that way, as a security precaution. So there was one point, I don't know, it was just I was at some intersection and I caught a signal. And while I was live streaming, I just lost a signal. So there was nothing I could do about that. So I have some video. I want to put it all together and release like all these clips from the march. Probably, I don't know if I'll do it today. I'm gonna go get something to eat here in the hotel probably, but I'll probably do it maybe tonight or tomorrow, and put that out. And that basically all the clips from the march that were not live streamed because there was no signal. But yeah, it was an incredible march. It was really, really amazing to see all these people out there. It was peaceful. I didn't see any trash. I saw a couple of bottles on the floor. I didn't see any fights. Oh, the only thing that I saw, and I'm not sure if this, no, I was not able to live stream it, but right before we crossed the bridge, the Ponatowa-Skego bridge, the historic bridge that you see in the shots with the white towers on either side. Right before we crossed it, there was a counter demonstration off to the side. I guess it would be I want to say the north side. And as I'm approaching, I see all these black uniforms, right? Black helmets. I was like, what the freak? And there was a big sign that just said Constitution, something like that. And people started yelling at him, or they were saying stuff at him, screaming stuff at him, whatever they were yelling. And the only thing that I saw was I saw two these road torches, these red, road flares. I saw two flares get thrown at this crowd. There was more cops than there were protesters, counter demonstrators. There was more police officers than there were counter demonstrators, right? Yeah, yeah. And then the cops basically are in riot gear, black riot gear. They basically formed a line with the clear shields to prevent anybody from getting hurt from a flare that was thrown. That's the only sort of conduct that you would say was like a little bit okay, guys. You shouldn't have done that. That's stupid. But I understand, right? They're saying get the f out of here, man, right? So that's what's up, man. Those are my thoughts, sort of my afterthoughts. Had a good time. I don't know, man. I haven't been around that many people since the Taste of Chicago. That was the last time I was into such a big ass crowd, man. Yeah, yeah. There's some mad people, some crazy people, like a small rock in the ocean. Yeah, but considering that 200,000 or more people showed up for this march, that's an incredible amount of people that spent the day basically or more getting here, participating in the march, and then somehow getting. For me, I didn't stay at the concert that long. I stayed for I don't know, maybe a half an hour or so, and then luckily there's a train station, Warsaw Stadium, and I was able to hop a train back to. Well, this time it didn't go to Warszawa Centralna, but it went to Warszawa Śródmieście or whatever, very close by. I mean, I knew that I had to get out there because the next stop would have been too far away. Yeah, these Polish people are patriots. These are patriots. These are patriots. They love their country. It doesn't mean that they hate anybody else. It just means they love their country. And there's nothing wrong with that. It means Poland first. For them, Poland first. And as it should be, right? Wow, they're saying there was a quarter of a million. I believe it. Honestly, I believe it. At least 200,000, maybe 250,000 people were at this march. I mean, was an historic, once in a lifetime, 100th anniversary of Poland. It's kind of like 1976 was the American bicentennial, 200-year anniversary. It was before all this crazy shit happened, and everybody was celebrating that for that in America. Nowadays, seems like they canceling the 4th of July celebrations because they're racist. It's insane. It's insane, man. We got to bring that. We got to bring that back. Hey, man. Whoa. What's up with that? Is that a? Is that a? Somebody gave me a. How can I see that? Was there a question there? Somebody gave me a. What do you call it? Instant, like send me some money. Send me some money. That's awesome. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. I didn't see a message attached to it. Super chat. Oh, thank you for the super chat. I'm trying to see. Oh, Marek, thank you so much for the super chat, man. I'm assuming you're from in Canada. Thank you. Appreciate that. Well, we've been going about 33 minutes here. I want to thank everybody. Seriously, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. I really wish you all could be here. And I just want to say, look, for all the Polish people out there that have left Poland for whatever reason, or maybe your parents left Poland during the communist times or right after communist times or whatever the case may be. And if anybody gives you any shit about Poland or makes fun of Poland, you just tell them to F off, man. Tell them to F off. Be proud of your country. Be proud of Poland because this place is an amazing place. And it's been through so much shit that it's really amazing that it's recovered so quickly, right? With all the shit that it's gone through. And that the people, they love God, they love their country, they love their families. And that's what it's all about, man. God, country, family. That's what it's all about, man. In Poland, we have an expression, Rodzina jest najważniejsze. Family is most important. And you can see that for the most part among most families, right? Obviously, the overwhelming majority of families. You see that it's part of the culture. It's part of the history. It's what keeps this country together during the hard times, right? Family, sticking together, and communities helping each other out. It's really what kept this country together, right? When it was off the map, right? It was off the map. Poland was only something in your heart because there was no such thing as Poland when it was during the partition times. So that just really shows you the intensity, the love that people have for this place. And it's an amazing place, man, for a lot of reasons, which I've talked about before in some other videos. Just an amazing country, fertile country. You can grow almost anything here except for tropical fruits, right? Which, maybe with global warming, which is a myth, but maybe with global warming, you can grow stuff. I mean, I'm growing grapes in Krakow and in Lublin. More successful, actually, in Krakow than Lublin. Apples, all kinds of stuff, man. It's just, I mean, it's kind of like New York. It's kind of like New York weather, right? To be honest with you. So, anyway, an amazing place, an amazing day. I don't want to bore you anymore. Thank you so again for watching. Remember to always make it happen for the captain, because you're the captain. Soldier rock and roll. Signing out, and I'll see you again soon. If you haven't subscribed already, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell, baby, so you can be notified for any live streams or any new videos when they come out. Thanks again.